Hi, just wanted to make a video for the character I've been playing for the majority of 3.9 in the Cyclone Blade Flurry Impale Champion. This character has been incredibly strong and incredibly fun to play through the majority of the league. It has cruised through all maps, all bosses, and Series 8. It is a really good build. So let's just jump into the gems. So running Cyclone for maps, map bosses, and Series 8, and Blade Flurry for the rest of the content, the rest of the bosses. Same gem link up on both chests. If you don't want to run a second chest, you can put white sockets on your main chest. But I had this lying around. It was a chest I started out on, so and it already had 3 greens, so I decided just to run with 2. The gem links are Impale, Fortify, Melee Fizz damage, Brutality, and Pulverize. So pretty much all just melee physical stuff. No conversion, no elemental damage, just pure Impale melee. Same link setup on the Blade Flurry side of things, except we have close combat support instead of Pulverize. We gain the same amount of damage at level 20, but we don't lose the attack speed that Pulverize makes you lose when you use it. Auras are Flesh and Stone, Maim, Pride, Blood and Sand, Dreadbender. Again, all pretty generic Impale physical sort of stuff. To run all 4, plus with the Maim linked up to the Flesh and Stone auras, we run a minimum of an Enlightened 2. To be able to run everything there. So Blood Rage, pretty generic. Val Molten Shell with increased duration support. Val Molten Shell is incredibly strong, borderline OP in a setup like this with all armor bases and a Granite Flask. 12k bubble that lasts 15 plus seconds. You could nerf Val Molten Shell by 50% and it would still be used over a Mortal Core, Steel Skin, anything like that. Ancestral Protector in the setup is just giving us a 20% attack speed. There's nothing really linked to it besides that. You can link Maim, other stuff to it, make it stronger, maybe drop some Combs Roots, grab some boots with some sockets and link it in there, but really, that is an option, but really only here we're using it for the attack speed that it gives while it's summoned. Other options inside the gems we're running, Cast on Damage, Taken and Feeble, Cold Snap, but with the setup I'm running I never felt the need to change it from white maps. It felt really strong from the get-go, but those are options that you can pursue if you want to go there. The gear, we have a Explodey chest with a tax have percentage to critical strike chance chest. The Explodey mod is crazy quality of life. It makes you clear quicker, and it also is helpful in the survival side of things, as exploding mobs that have post-death mechanics, such as the throwers that shoot out spikes when they die. If you are able to explode them, which 100% of the time if you kill them with this chest, with this mod, they will explode and not do their post-death mechanics. So I'm pretty sure it works against martyrs. Martyrs won't explode and kill you. The rowers, plenty of mobs that have something like that. Making this chest is a bit of a currency sink. If you wonder about it the way I did, got a eye level 85 Crusader chest, Crusader Influence chest, spam alteration it till it have killed enemies explode, then have a Elder chest with the mods that you want to have on it, such as as I have here, the attacks have percentage critical strike chance, and they're using an Awaken Orb and putting both the chests together, making one. The mods that I rolled beside the 2 GG mods are pretty garbage. Strength is okay, increased armor is okay, but in the long run they're just garbage, not really going to add anything to the build. However, those two mods themselves, in the attacks, critical strike chance, and the exploding mod, are so strong that I wouldn't run anything over this wall clearing pretty much. So that's our Cyclone chest. If we didn't want to run another chest to deal with the switching, you could just put a white socket on this, so you can chuck in close combat instead of pulverize and chuck in Blade Flurry over Cyclone. But I had this sitting around as the chest I started with, so I'll go with it. An issue with Blade Flurry in this build, with the way I have it set up, is it uses too much mana. So we have negative mana cost to channeling skills. Cyclone costs 8. This gives us -9, so Cyclone costs nothing, so we can spin forever pretty much. However, Blade Flurry costs 15, so we would need to chuck in some Mana Leech and maybe drop an Aura to be able to do it. But if you have this mod right here, Stocked attacks have -15 to total mana cost, we can use Blade Flurry for free with this chest. You can try to get that on something like this, but getting the two influenced mods and that serrated fossil mod is incredibly hard. That plus a resist and a life roll would probably be near tier. So switching between chests is okay for me. So yeah, I just have this in my stash, pull it out when I want to do a boss that I need Blade Flurry for, and then chuck it back in the stash. This is something else I made while I was trying to make this chest. It's just a eye level 85 Elder Astral Plate, tier 2 life, tier 1 percentage life. It's just another option for the build if you don't want to sink the currency into an exploding chest. There's a couple of Eldritch mods here in the physical damage from hits taken as fire damage, which if you have max resistances, with our build we have 77 fire resistance. This is a pretty strong mod. So another option. Looking at the other gear, our foils, just looking for flat fizz percentage, attack speed. Warlord has a cool mod in the percentage fizz and attack speed together. This one here dropped off Drox himself as is, and then I just multi-modded percentage fizz and critical strike chance quality. Another Warlord one didn't roll. It rolled a Warlord mod, but not the one that we're looking for. So the fire damage and fire resistance pen, garbage for this, as we don't do any fire damage. But it rolled tier 2 flat. Tier 2 flat fizz and tier 1 attack speed, so multi-bonded again, and both of these are 400 DPS, physical DPS foils. Really strong. You could upgrade them, obviously gain higher physical DPS weapons. Haven't felt the need. I've done all the content in the game. Serious 8, Uberalda, Shaper, all falls over really easily with weapons like this. Moving along, we have our jewelry. When you're doing jewelry, you're looking for attributes, life, resistances, just to start off with, and the crafted channeling skills, -3 to total mana cost, just so you don't have to dick around with mana leech or anything like that. You're able to run as many auras as you want. Flat fizz and global critical strike multiplier on amulets is really strong. Any flat fizz on this build is a lot of damage, something you should be aiming for. Through steel rings you get a flat fizz mod. You can also aim for more flat fizz on the steel rings as just a prefix. That is sort of a GG sort of like endgame item, and just at the moment don't have anything like that. Spike gloves, pretty normal. Max life. Resistances, you can roll attack speed on these. You can also roll +1 to melee range. Soul Tether, giving us the Slayer Ascendancy. No reason to play Slayer when you have something like this. life leech effects are not removed at full life, so even while I'm spinning, killing things, I keep leeching life pretty much. So as soon as I take damage, I will just immediately start leeching life. Comb's roots are insane on Uberelda and pretty good for the most of the other content. Really high flat life roll. Unwavering stance, so we'll never get stunned. No need for a freeze removal flask, as our action speed can't be lowered below our base value. So we can't get frozen, can't get chilled. Our helmet just gives pretty generic stuff and a bit of int. And as Bleefo requires a bit of int and just resistances. You can get a -9 to physical resistance helm for delve crafting. I haven't felt the need with the setup I have. I do a stupid amount of damage already. Just go over the jewels that we have quickly. We've only got 2 really. Increase attack speed with one-handers, global critical strike multiplier, elemental resist is what you're kind of looking for when you're looking for jewels. Anything, so life, resist, attack speed, and crit multi is what you're looking for. This is an incredible piece of gear for this guild. Impales you, inflict the last 2 additional hits. Will give you, in my setup, it gave my Cyclone 25% more damage, 25 to 30% more damage. This is a 20x item. It's definitely a chase item, but if you can get it to drop off Elder, you're a lucky man. Our tree, we can just look at that quickly. It's pretty generic melee stuff. Life, we need impale chance here. As we are champion, we only need 1 impale wheel, so we just go here. Fortify, nodes here, life here, life here. Just physical damage crit, physical damage swords stuff. Melee range sword stuff here, more life, more crit, more life. Soul Steel, incredibly broken and OP. Over this side of the tree there's a couple of options here. You can go this way and grab the Fortify wheel and this life wheel here and skip this and just grab this. And if you're high enough level, grab the crit wheel as well and skip this wheel entirely. I play on softcore. I don't really care about the extra Fortify effect or the extra life. Having around 7k on Sirius with my other chest is enough, really. We can look at our Ascendancy real quickly. Champion is one of 2 incredibly powerful melee Ascendancies at the moment. Between this and Jug, I don't think you would really want to ever play anything else. Master of Metal, while you're leveling, you would take Master of Metal first. 20% chance to impale enemies. So through this, through our tree, through the Impale support gem, and through Dreadbanner, we have 100% to impale enemies. Impales you, inflict last 2 additional hits, like the Watcher's Eye here. It's 25% more damage in game, pretty much. Nice little quality of life with the extra armor and extra flat fizz, nothing big. Secondly, you would go Conqueror, 100% chance to taunt on hit. Taunting an enemy, you take less damage. This node here just gives us a lot of durability and a lot of defensive stuff. And we go Worthy Foe, which increases the damage we deal to taunted enemies, which is everything we hit, and taunted enemies cannot evade our attacks. So you'll notice in this build I have not got any, don't have any accuracy, or enemies cannot evade attacks, besides this point here. This point here is all the accuracy and everything you'll ever need, because as long as you're able to hit an enemy, and at the moment... Cyclone. So the chance to first hit an enemy is 76% chance. We're spinning up to 14 times a second. So as long as one of those hit, then we don't ever need to worry about accuracy or anything, because we have a 100% chance to hit. And last note, we have a couple of options here. you should, if you're ever going to do serious, First Strike Last to Fall is your only option, really. If you reach low life, which is 25%, so Sirius hits you with his big beam, you'll gain adrenaline, instantly go back up to 50% health, and remove all ailments when you gain the endurance. So in a scenario, say Sirius is beaming you, he shocks you with the first hit of the beam, the second hit of the beam takes you down below 25% health, you will then jump up another 25% and remove the shock, and then the last hit of the beam won't deal as much damage as the second hit of the beam. So this is, for the serious fight alone, this is incredibly insane, like as a defensive thing. Your hits intimidating enemies is really nice, and increasing the attack damage they take by 10%. Adrenaline also, when adrenaline pops, it increases your damage by 100 and increases attack speed and movement speed and all that sort of stuff, and 10% additional physical damage reduction. That is nice. We don't, in the past, some people have, some builds have intentionally procced this before fights. We don't really bother, we don't need it for this build, but it is very nice to have. Unstoppable Hero is Unstoppable Hero as your last, instead of First Strike Last to Fall is an option, but it will, for general mapping, if you never drop below 25% health, it is better than Adrenaline, but the defensive buff that Adrenaline gives you, if you're ever playing hardcore, you would never take this node, you take this node. In softcore, there's reasons to take this. In group play, there's reasons to take inspirational, but First Strike Last to Fall is OP. I'd say that's pretty much everything with this build. Again, this build's been really fun. Try it out. Enjoy. Thanks.